All righty. So upright seat at the edge of your chair. And when you're at the edge of the chair, then feel this line open along the back line of the body, all the way up to the crown of the head, and then down through the central line of the front. So like a wheel or an orbit going up the back, down the front. And then perineum, that floor of the pelvis point, crown point, that's like the positive and negative end of the battery, right? Positive end, negative end. And then the line connecting the two ends of the battery, that's your central channel. So those are the three main sort of energy pathways in the body, according to the Chinese medicine Taoists, that Taoist view. So central channel, back channel going up from the perineum over the top, ending in the palate, and then front channel through the tongue, down the central channel, all the way through and again to the perineum. So as you sit and breathe, just allow those pathways to be relaxed, open. Also feel your entire diaphragm. The diaphragm is very important. According to some Qigong teachers and thought, that is this sort of energy battery in the body, this dome shape, so that when you inhale, that diaphragm is dropping down, kind of like a trampoline that's being pressed down upon. So feel that as you take your next inhale. Feel that diaphragm pressing down and that expansion throughout the whole body. And then as you exhale, feel that diaphragm go into the lifted position, kind of like an umbrella, an open umbrella. And then you inhale, diaphragm drops down, you feel that expansion in all directions. And then that exhale, the diaphragm lifts. We'll do that a little bit. So this structural and muscular activity in breathing is inducing benefits to our system. So it's pressing down on the abdominal organs, the liver, spleen, the kidneys, the digestive tract, and others. And then when it lifts up, it relaxes that. And then when you inhale again, it presses down. And when you exhale, it lifts and relaxes. So it's this natural sort of squish and release massage. Every time you fill your lungs with breath, you are gently squeezing the heart in between, it's nestled between the lungs, and then every time you exhale, you're releasing that. So our body is built to enjoy this yin and yang activity of extension and filling up, creating of pressure, and then this release of pressure. Let's take about 5 more breath cycles. Now, joint mobilization. Slide your hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back. Lift your chest slightly, lift your chin to look up towards the ceiling. Slide your hands forward, straighten through the arms. Chest sort of hollows back as you drop your head, opening the backside. Do it again. Sliding hands back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, looking up, way up. And sliding hands forward till the elbows lock. Hollow the chest area, drop the head. 2 more. Looking up. Looking down. One more. Find your way back to the upright position and let's do rotation. Left hand forward, right hand and elbow slide back, turn to your right, and switch. Right hand forward, left hand and elbow back, turn to your left. Do that again. Turning to the right, and turning to the left. 2 more each way. And we're back to middle. Arms hang by your side, side leaning, tilting. As you tilt to your right, lift your left wrist. And down. Tilt to the left, lift your right wrist. Down. Left. Just loose movement, breaking up this congealed, congested state the body is usually in. 1 more each way. And back to middle. Shoulders shrug up, melt down. Arms hanging by your sides. Shrug up, melt down. Again, shrug up. Think of this like a sponge that's full of mildewy water. You're squeezing that sponge and then relaxing it, and that lets the new fresh water in. Again, squeezing all those shoulder muscles where we often hold a lot of our tension and stress, and then melt. And then just to really clean those out, we do our circles. So the shoulder arm bone plugs into the socket, which connects to the shoulder blade that's on your back. So it's really the shoulder blade that moves. So spread the shoulder blade apart from each other. Your shoulders create this little funny looking position here. Then lift, shoulder blades go back towards each other like you're cracking a walnut, and slide them down the back and bring them back to neutral. Now, shoulders forward, up, back, down. One of the most complex and beautiful and wonderful joints in the body is the shoulder blade and arm connection. But there's many layers of muscle tying in. And so if we don't keep these very open and movable, they become a big problem in terms of congestion of muscle, nerve congestion, stress, pain, that kind of thing. Reverse, go back, then up, over the top, forward, down. Back, then up, over the top, forward, down. Back, up, forward, down. Back, up. The most important move is the down. So make sure you let the shoulders completely release, totally relaxed before going again. Otherwise, you're just holding the tension and moving the joint around, which doesn't have the same benefit at all. All right. Now, bend the elbows, bringing your hands up to this position. Elbows go out and up. And then they come down. Then they wrap around in front and squeeze. And down. Out and up. Down. Around and squeeze. Down. One more. So it's the elbows lifting, the hands stay loose. It's the elbows and this movement here in this whole area of the body. Lift. And then down. And then in front. Now, elbows pull straight back, shoulder blades gently squeezing toward each other. Elbows down. Elbows forward as the hands go over your shoulders a little. Elbows up as your hands slide down your back. And then elbows forward, down, back. Elbows down, forward, up. And forward, down, back. One more. Down, forward. Just up as much as you can. And down. Now, elbows out to the side, palms facing the floor, one above, one below. The below arm goes under. Hug your body. Elbows out to the side, way out. Feel that open quality through this whole region. And then the other hand below. Hug. Feel that squeeze, that closed position. Elbows out to the side. And wrap. Elbows out to the side. And wrap. Elbows out to the side. Elbows down. And 90-degree angle at the elbow. Right? So we're here. Now, turn palms down, up, down, up. Note that the movement's actually happening inside of the space between your two bones in your forearm. So that is a pivot. That's a joint. That's a movable part that we want to feel free and loose. Then palms face up, keep them face up. Hands go out to the side. Now again, notice the way you accomplish this is external rotation at the arm bone shoulder socket joint. Then bring hands back to this neutral. Now elbows out and around in front. Marjan, you see this position that I'm making? You see my shape here? My elbows going out and around to the front. Elbows out. There you go. So that's internal rotation of the shoulder. Now, external rotation. Internal rotation. Notice how this creates a hollow shape. Notice how this creates a sort of buoyant, lifted shape. And here. Now stay here. Left hand up over the rainbow, reach across. Palm touch palm. Reverse. Up. Back. Up and over. Back. Closing to your right. Open. Close. Open. Couple more. So these movements induce other internal movements that otherwise are not really doable from the inside out, but they're inducing certain changes that we want in the spine, in the chest and abdomen, and these sort of internal relationships of the body. Now, stay here. Step your feet wider apart, have a little space in between your legs. Now, both arms come up over the rainbow and cross, one wrist above the other. Turn the palms down and let both arms fall in between the legs and separate. Then cross the wrists, come up, open. Up, over, switch which wrist is on top. Turn the palms down. Let the arms fall between and separate just a little bit. And then cross, raise up, and open. And down to the side. Couple more. Up, over. This is a closed position. Arms come down and through. You notice we're kind of hunched, we're rounded, we're hollowed. And then here, we open. So this has impact on the spinal column and on those energy channels we were talking about at the beginning of class. The front and back channel and the central channel, sort of buoyant, springy pumping and flushing of those spaces. And this opening and closing. All right, last one there. Now bring the legs back to neutral, arms back to neutral. Wrists, fold, circle, fold, circle. It's great for arthritic and carpal tunnel issues. It's soft but thorough. Like we're not jamming the joint, but we're just softly polishing the path. Reverse, under, over the top. And hands up, spread, gather. Spread, gather. Spread, gather. Once more. Spread now, soft claw into a soft cotton fist, and then open. Claw into a soft fist, open. Two more. Into a fist and open. Now, thumb touch pinky. Drop the 3 fingers on top. That's the bird beak, right? Looks like a little bird beak. Bend at the wrist, drop the bird beak down. Then unbend the wrist and spread the fingers open. Make the bird beak as you bend the wrist down. And back. Bird beak. Back. Bird beak. Back. Now a little trickier, sort of. At this joint, you see where I'm moving my hand. This joint inside the palm, right? Where I haven't bent my fingers. I'm just bending at this joint. So at that joint, go pinky, ring, and middle finger and get them to the hand. And then this is like 2 chopsticks. Bring them together and drop down. So this is called the monkey paw, like that. Open. Now you want to sort of do it like a fan. Pinky, ring, middle, and chopsticks, and then release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. Again, just really good for all the little spaces in the hand bones to keep them lubricated and hydrated, which is a lot of the reason that the arthritic issues show up. It's just brittleness and a lack of fluidity through our hands. And shake. All right, scoot a little bit back on your chair so you're nice and stable. Now right leg lift and draw the heel in a little bit, not with the hands, but just in, and then push. Reload, and then set that foot down. Switch legs, load, push, reload, down, load and push, reload, down. continue. Push. All right, and now right leg, hold it out there. Point foot, flex foot. Invert, evert, little tilt of the foot. Circle the foot. And circle the foot the other way. Switch legs, other foot, point and flex. Invert, evert. Circles. And other way. And scoot forward all the way to that front edge of your chair or wherever you're sitting. Swivel steps. So now lift the ball of your left foot, turn on the heel. Notice the knee and the toes point out. Lift the heel, turn, so now the knee is in, the heel is out. Then the toe and the knee go out, heel out, knee in, and finally toe out. And then in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 1, 2. And the turning happens from the hip. 4 and 5. Other leg. 1, 2. External rotation. Internal rotation from the hip. And then out. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. Once more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 2, 3. And then twice, both legs will go out. 1, heels out, knees in. 2, toes out, knees out. 3, and then walk it in. 1, 2, 3. Walk it out. 1, 2, and 3. And walk it in. 1, 2. Back to neutral legs, hip distance. Hands on your legs. Forward fold. From the hips, hinge. Bowing forward. As you do that, swivel on the hands so your elbows point out and maybe even somewhat forward. And then sit back up. Arms turn back to neutral. Lean a little bit back. And sitting up. Bowing forward, turning so that the elbows point forward. That's an internal rotation of the arms and shoulders. Sit back upright. Lean back. 2 more. Fold. Up. Lean back. Last one. And sitting upright. All righty. So now we stand up and sit down. So from your seated position, back your feet up a little bit. Loose shoulders, right? Everything we did with the shoulders and arms, ideally create this loose quality. And you keep that loose quality as you fold. Spill the weight into the legs and stand up. And then we sit down. Same loose quality so that as I send my butt back, the arms should just hang like this. Sink, arms still hanging. And as you sit back upright, the arms just come alongside the torso. So loose arms, you fold. So you're not holding your upper body in a stiff way. So you're not top heavy. You're top light. In Tai Chi, they say top empty, bottom full. So we're trying to get to where we just spill our body weight down through the earth. We don't hold it away from the earth. And then up here is light and easy and adaptable and loose. Now let's do a couple where you don't sit in your chair, but you basically go as if. So it's butt back, sink, finding right above the chair, and then push through the earth and stand back up to vertical. And see how easily you can do this. Can you do it with just soft, 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 soft. Nothing extra, no grip, no hold. One more time. Loose. Joints and tissues sliding along and around each other. All right. So from here, we're standing. Ideally, we are not holding ourselves up, holding onto ourselves, right? This is where a lot of people are as soon as they stand up, especially I think with Parkinson's and just as people are aging in general, that's what you notice is people feel less comfortable just standing relaxed. Problem with that is any additional activity going on up here pulls me away from this quality of rooted, grounded, right? And so I'm sort of walking around on top of the world instead of connecting and feeling rooted and supported. And Tai Chi is all about what they call 1 full, 3 empty, right? So when these 3 are empty, you notice I can move them very freely and I'm not losing my steadiness. And then I have to be able to change so that now this is my full and these are the empty, right? So keep that in mind as we move through our Tai Chi. But first, from your comfortable standing position, notice that you're a bag of water. You are made of liquid. So now just let your liquid gently slosh forward into your toes and let your arms just kind of swing there. Then rock back to your heels and let your arms swing back a little. And again, rock through the middle to your toes, softly swinging these arms and back. So just this is a wonderful balance challenge because it shows you where you're grabbing on, where you're holding. It allows you an opportunity to one by one, round by round, just soften out where you're grabbing. Rock. Rock, that looks great. Now, the next time you've rocked back into your heels, float the arms out and up. So get to this position. Then rock to your toes and reach those arms way out in front. Turn your palms face up. Palms face up. Like that, right? So we came around here. Now rock back to your heels. So you're in your toes, back to the heels, hands come in like you're bringing something in the mouth, both hands, in. Then rock to the middle of your feet, your hands settle to the middle, your belly button. Then we do that squat. The butt goes back, sink, and soften the arms totally long and loose. Push through the earth, stand back up to vertical with everything hanging out totally at ease. Do it again. Rock back to the heels, the arms swing back and open to the side. Rock to the toes, the hands reach way out, palms turn face up. Rock to the heels, the hands come in, past the mouth. Rock to the middle of your feet like you're settling everything to the middle. And then the butt goes back, sink, and let everything go all the way through to the earth. push through to the push down through the earth and let that cause your body to stand all the way back up. Right? So just watch me as I've gone down here. All I do is push down through my legs and the body stacks itself perfectly. Right? I don't have to come up and hold or put my shoulders anywhere. It's just loose. So get that feeling. That's a huge one for Tai Chi. Let's do this one more time. So we're trying to return to natural, right? When you see a baby or a young sort of toddler coming into its body, there's just this kind of soft, natural quality to it, right? It's not highly coordinated yet, but we want to have those elements of soft and loose. All right, so now here we are. Let's work on a couple Qigong moves. So change your weight to your left leg. Change your weight to your right leg. As you go into your left leg, reach your left hand down, right wrist up. Wrist all the way up, loose wrist. And then we switch. So as that right hand goes down, you go through the right leg, left foot should be empty now, right? You see how I can have mine off the floor? You don't have to do that, but just notice there's no weight in it. And then change. And we want to change back and forth and find that pivot point inside the body. The Taoists say, Tai Chi people say, it's at belly button height. And it's this kind of middle area of the belly, the lumbar spine, what they call the quad, the hips. This whole region is where this mobility gets frozen. They call it being double weighted, where we're sort of stuck here, and then maybe I can go like this, but that's very different than finding that loose quality inside. And I like to use the example of Latin dance, right? If you ever see Latin dancers, they have this movement and they can do all this interesting stuff down here because this area is loose. So we're looking for that quality in our Qigong and in our Tai Chi. It's a mechanism, right? All right. And Shogun, wings, roll palms up, hands come over top. Settle down to your middle. This is called opening and closing the three basin. Bring your fingertips together. They're above the sternum. So this is the upper chamber. Open. Way out to the side. All the way to the tips of the fingers. And then close. All the way together. Open. Now as you open, shift the weight into your right leg. I'm going into my right leg. You go to your right leg. And then as you close, go to your left leg. Right leg. Left leg. Right leg. Left leg. So Qigong and Tai Chi, what's the difference? Qigong are usually repetitive, you could say simple movements. That their goal is to prepare an area of the body, to focus on an area of the body. Tai Chi starts to get more complicated and starts to link things together that add cognitive challenge, cognitive dissonance, so it really works the brain in a different way. But this is meant to be easy, soothing, calming, and we're opening and closing, right? So it's good for the tissue and structure. Now drop the hands to the middle, above the navel, below the sternum, open. Go into your right leg, and then into your left leg. Opening, closing, opening, closing, open, close. So again, it's not just hands moving in space. Because of the way the body is built in an interconnected sort of liquid whole, when you reach open like this, you're opening up the sponginess of the body. When you're coming together, you're closing that sponginess, opening that sponginess, closing the sponginess. Now drop the hands right in front of the groin area, open, close. So again, go into your right leg as you open. So go to your right as you open, into your left as you close. Open and close. Open and close. Two more. Open. Close. And also with Qigong, we close in between different little sections or modules before moving on to the next. Now the next one, put your weight into your right leg, my left, your right. Swing your right arm forward, right? So it's straight and it's swinging from this spot here in the chest shoulder. And then your other arm back, again, from that same chest shoulder area. Your left leg is empty. Now you switch everything. So you go into your left leg and swing the arms. And then switch again, swing. And swing. And swing. So there's a sort of walking in place quality, a sort of sink and rise, sink and rise, sink and rise, sink and rise. And you're practicing with all these moving parts, a sort of steadiness, a stillness in your middle. So you're not disturbing balance, even though you're swinging limbs and changing weight. This creates a little bit of a rotation through the torso. This comes from the exercises in Qigong known as shuai shou, or throwing arms or swinging arms. They really help to just loosen up the deep, stiff spots. And again, very important, Marjan, notice the arm when I go back. This arm, right? So it's not stopping here. It's not doing this. It's, right? So we get this swing, this unified whole. All right, and then we let them come to stillness. And then one more from this series. Turn. And when you turn, one arm comes behind, right? And then turn, 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 turn. So same quality of swinging arms, right? Where we want them loose as can be, and they need to be loose from this area for them to fully move like ropes or like tentacles. Right? Notice the arms smack, smack. The torso is turning, little turning through the hips. And slowly back to middle. Shogun, wings, roll, fold. And then one more Qigong set, the double hand circle. So palms facing each other, swing over and up to the side, then let them swing down and under. Notice naturally as you swing down, under, and come over to this side, your weight goes into your left leg and your waist turns a little. You want to allow that. And then as you swing and come under and over to the other side, the weight naturally changes. And your middle, you want it undisturbed. Just a nice floating middle as your material body is just moving freely. Now, the hands, make sure they come down, under, up. Now we keep coming up over the top, over to the other side, down, under, over, up over the top, down, under, up, over the top, down. The double palm circle. 2 more. So the body is built with wheels, and Tai Chi is a reclaiming of these wheels. Now switching directions, loose, loose, up, over the circle, down, under the circle, up, over the circle, down. And just feel how we all know the saying, the sum is greater than the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. It's kind of that idea that all of our parts put together can be very complicated, but in essence, if we just think in circles and spirals and round liquid pathways, then we can operate our body with way less clumsy strength and much more grace. Last one. Now, as you swing here, we're going to do what's called drawing the bow, which is the second half of this exercise. So bring your hands up. Left hand stays exactly where it is. And now it's like we draw a bow. Pull that elbow back. And then we go back and grab the bowstring. And then we draw the bow. And we're in our left leg. And then into that right leg. Left leg and right leg. And turning to the left, turning and opening, turning and turning, drawing the bow. Now we switch sides by doing half of one of those circles and draw the bow. Loose and free. Once you recognize how much the grabbing on of the body is happening, it's happening for everybody. And I think more so with people who are dealing with something at the nervous system level, like Parkinson's, right? So can you apply your will, your mind, to soften and release, and then move while in that soft, released state. All right, now hands come down, swing, swing, and closing our Qigong practice. And then we'll go through our Tai Chi basics. Hands come down. So the first move in Tai Chi, rising hands, wrists relaxed, as if you're painting the wall in front of you with the back of your hand. And then the hands flip over and it's as if you're painting with the tips of your fingers. And then again, painting. Now as you're coming up, you might notice the arms are in internal rotation. And then when we switch, they're in slight external rotation. So that's the subtlety of something that doesn't look, it's like you could go to a party and do this and no one's going to say, wow, like you did a backflip or something. But in regards to your nervous system, your tissues, your joints, the chi flow in the body, this quality of whip-like or liquid-like movement has a great, great internal impact. It kind of washes out residue. It's a sort of polishing. That's how I've come to understand Tai Chi, is we're polishing so that it's smooth. And that's what we all really need. Now, hands scoop in front, same quality, just out to the side. The crane flaps its wings, softening, right? Feeling this wave-like motion down. Awareness out to the very tippity tips of your fingertips, but without any tension, without any grip. So it starts to feel almost like levitating the body parts. The more you move like it, the more the body is able to do with this levitation quality, this soft quality. Next, we do what's called embrace the moon. This adds a little cognitive challenge. Hands are out to the side. Turn your right palm up. Now, as that hand comes over top, left hand sweeps under. And we've got one low, one high. They come towards each other. So one is sinking, one is rising. Then they go away from each other, rising and sinking. Then they go around the far side of a circle. We end up here at the wings. Turn left palm up, and as it comes over, right hand comes under, high and low. One rising, one sinking. Sink and rise. And big round circle. What you'll notice with this one, especially if you're learning it sort of for the first time, is that the brain likes to cut corners to get to destinations. But what we're doing with Tai Chi is trying to find the whole space. So rather than quickly cutting a corner, we're going around in. And so this is like a network connection. We're networking the brain out to the body and not skipping or cutting any corners. So this already begins to add a certain challenge, right? This asymmetry. Now from here, hands come down. Bend elbows, just bring the hands right in front. Turn palms forwardish. Push. Straight ahead of you. Hands wrap around the backside so they stay long as they come around. Then draw back in. Turn the palms. Push. As if pushing through the tips of the fingers rather than jamming the wrist and pushing through the heels. We're going fingertips, long, draw back. So again, just think about polishing the brain, nerve, muscle relationships. And we want to move slowly enough to witness any speed bumps, potholes, rough spots in this nervous system muscle relationship, but not so slow that we're stagnant. But we have to go slow enough to really witness, are we in fact smooth? Now, left hand push, turn that left palm, turn the right palm, getting it ready. Let's do one draw, one push. Turn that hand around, turn the other hand, one draw, one push. Turn palm simultaneous, draw, push. Turn palms, draw, push. So all these movements that we're doing eventually get done with footwork, right? This one would be done while walking backwards, and there's more complicated gestures that we do, but that's what Tai Chi eventually becomes. It's called repel the monkey, right? We're walking backwards while shifting and turning, right? And both hands come back, release both hands down, Put left hand behind your back. Now, turn right palm to face to the left. Sweep the leg. As you do, shift the weight to that left leg and let the waist turn a little bit that way. Now, turn your right hand around so your right palm faces back the other way. Brush knee, sweeping it the other way. And so notice how the palm is facing directly that way. So it's like washing the water that way. And it's down a little lower than that, Marjan. So I did this just to show, but it's down here with a long arm. Brush knee, turn the hand around, sweep the leg. Brush the knee, sweep leg. Brush knee. Now this is called swirl the stream. So this right hand goes away from the body, out in front of you by a good amount, but it stays low and comes around a circle, comes in close to the body, and then brush knee. Come around and through. Around. That's called the bear swirls the stream. The bear movement is kind of clumsy looking, not really sophisticated, but really useful. Now the bear snatches the fish. The hand rises up a little bit and comes across as if there's a fish jumping and we're snatching it, and then put it back in the water, sweep it across, let the arm rise, shifting, turning, sweeping, and it drops into the water. Let's go for a little higher jumping fish, but the same quality, right? We're still moving from our middle, changing, turning, slinging, changing, and sweeping. Let's go for the highest jumping fish. So now it's kind of like just above the head, down and through. Just above the head, down, through. One more. And now, put that right hand behind your back, left hand out, sweep the leg, and turn the hand around, brush the knee. Turn the hand around, sweep the leg so the palm is facing to the right. Then the palm turns and it's facing to the left. Marjan, change your hand. Turn your hand around. So once you come over here, turns this way. And it brushes across. Then it turns again. Brushes across. Turns again. There it is. Beautiful. Sweep the leg. Brush the knee. Now, swirl the stream around, come in close, brush the knee. Go away from the body, around a circle, come in close to the body. Finish that circle. So again, if I turn sideways, you can see that it's away from the body, in close to the body. Away from the body, in close. One more. Swirl the stream. Now the fish start jumping. So on this next one, let the hand raise a little, snatch that fish back into the water. So again, make sure you go back into the water each time. So back, down, drop. So we're not just repeating out here. It comes down and goes back to brush knee, right across in front of you. So it's like a circle around, and then the hand comes down into the water, brush through. Very good. So this is the bear sequence or bear progression. Let's go for the slightly higher jumping fish. So this is around chest, throat, face height. But each time it always, no matter how high up it goes, it's returning to this soft, relaxed place. So we're going on a little journey, challenging our range, and then we're just returning to totally relax. So that next time, it's even easier. And finally, the highest jumping fish, circle, circle. And circle, circle. circle. And now, as this left hand goes through brush knee, right hand sweeps the leg. Then turn the right hand around, left hand around. So now it's one brush knee, one sweep leg. And then the hands turn again. Brush and sweep. Then it's brush and sweep. So the hands are specific. Brush, sweep. Then they change jobs. Brush, sweep. They change. Brush, sweep. That's right. Brush, sweep. Now, this hand here goes around a circle while the other one stays in close. And then this one goes around the circle and around the circle. So again, remember that it was just this exercise, but now we're doing them together. One is on the outside of the circle while the other's on the inside, and then they change. One brush knee, one swirl the stream. Then one brush knee, very good. One swirl the stream. Now snatch the fish. It's just a light progression. Very good. And all you got to do is remember the brush knee is this return to doing nothing. And then this one's on its journey, and this one returns to brush knee as this one goes on that. And then it returns to doing drops here and brushes knee. Well, this one comes around. And this one, let's go for the higher jumping fish. Loose and long. And the other thing, when you think of a bear, you might think of long, sort of lumbering movements. And so that helps. Keep doing it. It opens up this area, the kidney area, and the upper back and shoulders, this sort of swinging like a big lumbering bear, long limbs, round, long limbs. So now it's brush and sweep, switch. Bring your left hand up, Marjan, yeah. And then it's here. And they switch. Here. Right? And so I start people with this bear sequence because in a sense it is simple, but you can experience it's not that easy. As soon as you're adding in changing weight, turning, one high, one low, what's the position of the hand? Which is further away from the body? Which one's closer? Right? All of a sudden your brain really has to dial in and network connect, and there's no room for distraction. And then anything else we add on is just sort of a similar theme, just a variation on it. All right, back to middle. And then we'll finish with our golden rooster leg works. Last thing we'll do. So bring your feet closer together, heels touching or close to it. Change your weight to your right leg. Let yourself kind of sink through the right leg and touch your left foot out in front as empty as you can. So this, right? And it's empty rather than, let's say, going into it with your body weight. So that's our goal, is to put that foot out there lightly. Then bring that foot back, heels almost touching, toes turned out. Change your weight. So your weight goes through the left leg, right foot is empty. Put that foot out there as empty and light as it can. And then bring that foot back, set it down without any body weight. That's the ideal. And then you change and you go other foot out, empty. Imagine a teacup on your head. Don't spill a drop. As you bring the leg back, you change, toe touch. Bring the foot back, change. Stay very comfortably where you are as you just float that empty foot out. Bring it back, change, out. Back, change. And then we'll add one final bit to this. So have your right foot forward, right fingertips point up, left hand resting on the surface of the water, fingertips touching the water. And see how bent my elbow is? So rather than here, here. Now bring your right foot back, set it up. Now as you change the weight into your right leg, that's when the right hand descends, bend the left elbow pointing up, and put your left toes out in front of you, like that. So the golden rooster stands on one leg. Bring that left foot back. As you change the weight to the left leg, left hand goes down, right elbow bends, and put the toe out in front. Bring the foot back. Simultaneous shift, arrive. Bring the foot back, no body weight. Shift, change. Step back, shift, change. We'll do two more each side and see if you can find the place in you that is just steady, undisturbed, regardless of which leg you're using to keep you up, which leg is in front, which arm is high, which arm is low. So what we're cultivating by moving all our parts is actually finding the unmoving still point that balances all of it, that organizes all of it. Last one. And shogun, or closing gesture. And then this very simple closing massage. Hands together. Rub. Rub the back of one hand. Rub palms again. Rub the back of the other hand. Palms one more time. And now your groin area, so genital area in the middle, the inguinal crease on either side, called the quad. So rub that space there. We want that space to not be gripped and congested, but rather fluid and open. Now move the hands to the front of the hips, the hip flexors, where the thighs tie in right at the top. That's an area that also gets stiff. Then we come around to the back and we find the tailbone, the sacrum, and move up from that sacrum onto our lumbar. It's known as the Ming Men. So this whole region is a problem area until we reclaim it, right? The groin, hips, low back, this whole region. And then finally, sweep down the outside of the legs, sitting as if you're sitting in a squat. Hands come around to the inside, and we come all the way up to the navel. Let's do just that portion one more time. Sweep down the outside, sitting the tush, around, coming up the inside to the navel. And then finally, up the outside of the arm, all the way to the shoulder. Turn that arm and sweep down the inside off the fingertips. Turn the arm again. Up the outside, all the way to the shoulder. Turn the arm down the inside off the fingertips. Yang channels and yin channels. So it's like a reset to the ideal flow in the body, according to Chinese medicine and how they view it. This side, up the outer, over the shoulder, turn, down the inner. Up the outer, over the top, down the inner. Up, down, up, down. One more. And final time, closing gesture, closing the practice. Belly button, sealing the practice, center of palm over navel, seal. And then the little Taoist bow, grab one thumb, fold. Thank you, everybody. Nicely done. All right, if there are any questions, feel free to unmute and we can discuss or any epiphanies, insights, whatever. Good to see everybody.